Good afternoon, everyone. Morning to those of you who are still on the West Coast. My name is Sandeep Hinduja, and I'm the head of banking vertical here at Newgen Software. I'm delighted to welcome you all to today's webinar, the title being Acceleration of Revenue in Banking with Gen AI-Powered Platforms. We are in exciting times today where customer expectations are evolving faster than ever. Traditional methods can't keep up. And we're not just talking about technology, we're also diving into how AI, and more specifically Gen AI, is revolutionizing the banking industry. Some of the industry gurus are also calling this as an inflection point for technology, if you may, from delivering hyper-personalized customer experiences to enabling smarter decision making. We are really seeing AI reshape the landscape for us. Think of this session as a space to collaborate. Think of it as a learning that we can gather together from industry experts, and more importantly, discuss how we can all leverage these advancements to make an impact. We are thrilled to have you all with us, and we hope you will leave with new ideas on how to drive real change in your organizations. And to help you all do that, we have an incredible line of speakers today. These folks are experts in their field, and it's my honor to introduce them to you today. First and foremost, we have Ryan Geyer, who serves as the head of product for Converge by Deloitte Banking Suite. It's Deloitte's practice that specializes in a fusion of products with the consulting horsepower of Deloitte, if you may, specializing in AI is one of their lines, and I'll let Ryan introduce that to you. They specialize in driving growth through innovative platforms and product design within the financial services sector. And with extensive experience in launching transformative digital solutions for global and regional banking, Ryan excels in enhancing customer and employee engagement with digital tools. Ryan, you want to come in and say hi?
Yeah, it's great to be with you guys, Sandeep, Greg, and team, and really happy to be here and talk about what we're seeing, what we're hearing from our clients. So happy to be here. Appreciate it.
Welcome, Ryan. We also have with us Greg Sullins. Greg Sullins is the head of the Center of Excellence for Banking at Newgen Software. An industry veteran, Greg has led several banking institutions across the country, and he's been supporting banks, FIs, and credit unions in their digital banking transformations. Greg engages with some of his clients, providing guidance and support on their digital roadmap to optimize improvements and also enhance customer and employee experience by ensuring appropriate shareholder return on investments. Greg, you want to say hi?
Yeah, thanks, Sandeep. Great to be here with you, Ryan, Siddhant, and talking on a very important subject here today. So look forward to our dialogue.
Welcome, Greg. Last but not the least, we have Siddhant Alawadi. He is the product manager in the AI practice at Newgen Software. He's one of the leaders on the product team, and this is the team that actually leads the development of Gen AI applications for banking. And he's also very close with what actual products do. And some of these products are what our partners like Deloitte deliver to their customers together with their consulting practice. Siddhant, do you want to come in, say hi?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks, Sandeep. So really happy to be here and try to share my product expertise on bringing business owners closer to their customers. So basically enriching rich customer data by leveraging trusted layers of product to get some business insights. So yeah, happy to showcase a demo here. Yeah.
Thanks, Siddhant. Welcome. So the way, folks, we have organized today's session, let me introduce how we'll go about it. The idea was we'll first invite Ryan and Greg to share their insights on how they think Gen AI is transforming the banking industry. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. We will then have Siddhant actually show us an engaging demonstration of a GenAI-powered platform from Newgen. As you hear those insights from Ryan and Greg, Siddhant will hopefully bring home some of those ideas in terms of how products help you bridge that gap between concept and execution. Lastly, we'll open up the floor for a Q&A session where you should be encouraged and feel free to drop your questions in the chat. And some of our experts will take those questions and ensure you get the responses to those. So without further ado, we have an action-packed hour ahead of us. Let's get to it. And with your permission, Ryan, allow me to start with you. From your experience, how are leading banks using GenAI to drive revenue and improve operational efficiency? How are they balancing those two conundrums?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Pardon me, it's a good question. I think it really does come down to context, right? And really bringing contextualized insights into whatever the situation is asking for. And so, I know we'll share a couple examples of that here momentarily, but just off the top of your head, that there's so much buzz right now around Grok from X or OpenAI and what's happening with DeepSeek. There's so much happening on the deeper end of what research enables with GenAI. Marketing GenAI is continuing to gain traction as well. And so you're seeing this, I think, this cultural understanding of what these tools are capable of happening more and more. But at the end of the day, it really is about bringing context to a particular situation. I'm calling into a call center. I just had a fraudulent alert on my card. We want to arm that call center agent or that customer service agent with smart prompts with the context of what they're calling in for. And that's something that is increasing customer satisfaction, but it also increases employee satisfaction. So really the way that banks are starting to think about GenAI and even back into the machine learning worlds of the really smart if this, then that, it's increasing customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, decreasing cost over time because we get to those outcomes quicker. But it is about contextualizing the conversation both with our customers and our employees.
Excellent. And I couldn't agree more, right? I mean, contextualization and relevance to the customer base, I think is of the essence from our point of view as well. But Ron, the next question that comes up is, there are quite a few trends in the market. And what are some of those leading trends that you think are shaping the industry? And more importantly, what are the main challenges that banks confront as they sort through these trends for meaningful adoption?
No, that's a really good question. Yeah, so we've prepared a few here today and happy to answer more in the Q&A. I think, the way that we think about trends is, again, with this context, it's another way to think about this hyper-personalization. And that first trend is going to follow us all the way through. We as consumers, understand that our bank or our FI, whether it be a credit card, an insurance company, whatever that financial service is, they know us and we know they know us. And so really what it comes down to, if we're people, help me make the best decision given all the information or that you can glean about me, right? Our customers and our research show that customers expect their financial institution to contextualize whatever guidance, advice, recommendations, et cetera, that their bank or their FI is giving them. And ultimately that leads to lower trust, right? If you are just giving me every option for a product, I'm onboarding into a bank or I'm onboarding a new small business, if you're just giving me all of the library of products you have available, but not personalizing those to me, that inherently decreases trust. And one of the things that I think GenAI really opens up for banks is the ability to kind of play at the level that social media is playing at, right? If I look at a social media feed, those feeds are hyper-personalized based on the information and the context that I bring to the table. That is the comparison that our customers are making, that your customers are making. And that is something that we're able to now really extend that context, those contextual and personalized insights. And the way that this is happening is banks are really adopting, machine learning again, and then AI overall to offer that contextual next best action. So right now, in the US, we're in tax season, right? And, tax season, there's a ton of TurboTax commercials and, however many commercials you want to see, but it's all about maximizing your tax benefit that you get back from the IRS. How do I get as much money back? How do I, if I'm a small business, think about personalizing those taxes and really thinking through my tax thresholds to get the most money back, but to make sure I'm doing what I need to do to stay above board, et cetera. And the way that you can do that contextually is, hey, we know about you, we know your situation, we know what you spend each year, we know where you live, we know, the money that comes in, the money that goes out. So how do I best optimize? Where should I go? Is a CPA best for me? Is one of these tools best for me? If a tool is best for me, then do I get a recommendation, right? So it's these contextual insights at the right time based on the information you know about me. Another one that we would see very often is this enhanced relationship banking. So both in retail and small business, similar to tax, it's for small businesses, as we step into different thresholds of small business, as we increase our revenues over time, well, the problems that I'm solving as a small business owner change over time, right? If I bring on one employee, that's a lot different than if I have 50 or 100. So how do we use these tools to very personally guide and give advice to those small business owners so that they can handle things like cash flow, like lending, like financial management? If do I need a microloan to make payroll if that my receivables are 30 days late, but I've got a big bucket coming from a contract that was signed, right? There's all these things that we can do that offer hyper-personalized moments of both guidance and clarity to our customers. Again, in this case, small business, but that could be retail as well. And all of those increase trust with their financial institution. It increases their propensity to purchase more products, so to increase that wallet share. It really does increase, again, not only the customer value and the customer satisfaction, but also the employee satisfaction. And really where we get into that employee satisfaction is what we're seeing with the conversational AI for intelligent call centers, and then also in the branch. The way that we think about servicing customers should be inherently different, right? The typical way was all customer led. Something happens to the customer, something happens to our client. I call in as a customer or I walk into a branch. But now we have all of that context. Now I know if I pick up my phone and I'm going through and I see a fraudulent charge, or the way it should work, the bank tells me there's a fraudulent charge, call this number. If I call that number or I hit that chat, the tools are smart enough now to know the context that I'm bringing with me. So one of the use cases that we're solving right now for one of our larger clients is sentiment analysis. So what we're able to do is, again, the use case is I have prompted the customer that there's a fraudulent charge. That customer either chats or picks up the phone. There's a sentiment analysis that is run based on the inflection and tone of voice that customer is calling in with. And so when that pops up on the screen, again, whether it's a chat agent or in a telephone call center, that person talking to the customer now knows this is why they're calling. This is the sentiment that they're bringing with them, i.e., I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm scared, I'm frustrated, right? So I can actually tinker with the prompts that I walk that customer through to disarm the situation, to let them know everything's going to be okay, how we're going to handle it. If I need a new card, for instance, that's already taken care of. So these flows are much smarter based on the information that I have. Again, it's this hyper-personalized context. So on the far left of the screen, we're seeing make recommendations much more personalized in real time, given the context. The far right of the screen is now when we talk to each other and have these conversations, we're going to personalize and contextualize those conversations. What we're seeing in early testing from how that's coming out is, again, higher customer satisfaction, because it's now a conversation that used to be very frustrating. Now it's disarmed and the solution is almost quicker than the problem itself was. But employees are also satisfied at a much higher level because I'm not having to deal with frustrated customers all day long, right? Rightfully frustrated, but frustrated nonetheless. Lastly, with our AI augmented bankers and tellers, it's very similar to the call center scenario. But if you imagine that, hey, I walk in and I always see a teller, I authenticate the moment I walk into a bank. That's part of that personalized service that you expect. Again, bank or other financial institution. What I'm able to do then is, hey, Mr. Geyer, we see this information about your accounts. What are you coming in today? I'm coming in for a mortgage or an auto loan or a check or a whatever. Great. Handle that, right? One of the things that we see in our research is don't offer me anything before you have solved the problem I came in for, right? But solve the problem I came in for, and then offer me information based on the context that you have. And then again, that increases the propensity for customers to buy more products, to have a larger share of wallet. It increases trust. It increases the employee experience as well, because these bankers and tellers now have all the context and can talk to their customers like they're people. So, in summary, again, hyper-personalized, you know who I am. I know you know who I am. So contextualize whatever guidance, advice, products, et cetera, you're giving me. And then if there's a problem or if there's a personal touch point, make that much more personal. And we can do that because we bring context with these tools. And so that's really what we're seeing overall. Those are some of the challenges, and those are some of the opportunities that banks are really targeting with these Gen AI solutions, and something that we've seen with Newgen that we're particularly excited about.
Thanks, Ryan. That was indeed insightful. And the other thing there is, like you mentioned, banks have been in some form or shape been engaged in a digital transformation for now a few years. Most of the banks are somewhere in their journey as they evolve and try to kind of adopt the digital framework, if you may. Talk us through what are some of the best practices that banks looking to integrate or rather assimilate AI into their digital transformation strategies. How do they go about it? What are some of the do's and don'ts there?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and something we get often. I think, not to, pardon the pun, but context matters, right? So if you are a large universal bank, it's going to be a little bit different than if you're smaller down in the regional or sub-regional banking world. But regardless of the size of bank, pick a use case. So the thing that we see over and over that drives success in these programs, these multi-year transformational programs, is a customer-focused use case. So what problem am I solving for the customer? One of the last things you want to do is bring a cool tool to the table, a technology tool to the table, and look for a use case, right? You want to focus very specifically on what customer problem am I going to solve? What tools are available? I know we'll see one today that we're particularly excited about here at Deloitte, but what tools are available to solve that problem, and then solve a small sliver of that. So for example, if I want to be smarter and offer hyper-personalized experiences to my customers, well, do I want to do that in onboarding? Do I want to do that on a dashboard where I already know their information? Do I want to do that with a subset or a sub-segment? Do I, if we're working on conversational AI with our call centers, don't bring that in and drop an aircraft carrier worth of Gen AI in your whole call center. Let's solve fraudulent calls. Let's solve card replacements. Like, pick a very specific customer-focused use case that we can drive customers-focused outcomes, and then pick the right tool to solve that right approach. And so, where Gen AI is able to do a little bit of everything, and it really does do it well. We're seeing the breadth of use cases here. What you want to do is pick again, customer-focused, targeted use case, get really small, and then once you land, it really does expand very, very quickly into other use cases and other tools where you can approach that. So the last thing I would say is pay attention to your data model. So one of the things we work really hard within Converge, again, that's our product suite at Deloitte, is that we normalize data models across different inputs. So today, data is coming from multiple sources, first party, second party, third party sources. Normalizing that data layer and having Gen AI tap into that normalized layer also decreases complexity and gives that transformation project a much higher chance of success.
Excellent. Thanks, Ryan. I think very critical inputs take a use case based approach. Don't put the cart before the horse.
100%.
And then, of course, your data model, data is everything that fires up what AI does. And we see quite a few of those variations out there, right? Customers are in their journeys of deploying data lakes, etc. So it'll be good to see how Siddhant kind of brings that home with a product-based view of it as well. But allow me to switch gears and go to Greg. Greg, from your insights and experience, which we understand are more product-based as against Ryan's that are more consulting-based, what are you seeing as trends and challenges in the industry?
Sure, Sandeep. Excellent thoughts there from Ryan. We're really seeing that Gen AI is transformative technology, as Ryan's just has talked about. It's revolutionizing the way that we work and engage with our customers, and those that are embracing it quickly but wisely. It's really leading them to a competitive advantage. For example, 86% of financial services AI adopters say that over the next 2 years, this is going to have a critical impact on their business success. 35% increase in customer retention and banks using Gen AI for hyper-personalized marketing. They've seen upwards of a 25% growth in cross-sell opportunities. So significant numbers here, ultimately driving a 55, 50, over up to 50% higher return on investment in your campaigns by reducing marketing costs and just improving the success of the campaigns. Fundamentally, these tools are allowing banks and leaders to enable strategic decision making, drive employee productivity, deepen their relationship and experience with their customers, and obviously driving for a competitive advantage. So these are really, really game changing. As I look at this, even a step further, if we think about, though, they are challenges, Sandeep, and Ryan touched on some of these as well. Many of the banks still lack that. It's difficult to create a unified view of their data and information. They are still, obviously, we all have to have strict adherence to regulatory and privacy standards that explainability, if you will, the reliability and trust in and having a transparent AI models is something that's got to be paramount to your focus. And then, of course, longer time to value, as you have in many cases, you have to collaborate across departments, right? This is not individual. This is looking at things in the eyes of your customer, and that cuts across many silos of your respective banks. But the way I'd summarize this, Sandeep, is Gen AI has transformative potential in banking, but successful adoption requires strong governance, compliance frameworks, and human oversight. Banks are really proactively balancing this innovation with risk management through secure AI models, explainability measures, and regulatory collaboration. Some of the things we'll continue to touch on here further. Sandeep?
Excellent. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. And, I want to double click on something that Ryan brought up. And he said, one of the main features or the benefits that customers are seeing, or rather banks are seeing for their customers, is the power of Gen AI in customer personalization and engagement. So, from your point of view, how have you seen, for example, Newgen's Gen AI-powered platform help banks and financial institutions enhance customer personalization and engagement?
Yeah, great. I'm excited that that's a part of the topic. If we could transition here, what I'd like to do is introduce our audience here and our panelists to Newgen's. We built on our NewgenONE platform. We call this LumYn. So let me introduce you to LumYn, which is really a Gen AI powered growth intelligent platform designed specifically for financial institutions to maximize customer lifetime value, increase your sales conversions, make trusted data-driven decisions, and do that all through an intuitive low-code AI solution with predictive insights. Now, LumYn is built on NewgenONE low-code data science platform. We'll talk more about that. But LumYn has the potential to double conversion rates and accelerate target product launches up to tenfold. Think about it for a moment. Think of if you had in your hands that as your customers and prospects literally interact with your organization via the web, online banking, mobile banking, call centers, wouldn't it be great to have a tool like LumYn to literally help you uncover insights? Think of this like your own personal chat GPT, but it's embedded with all your customer data and insights. And you could just do what if analysis. What is the behavior, intent, and preferences of individual customer? What are the top reasons for conversion, and why are they not happening? What drives that engagement with the customer visit on the website or mobile? And of course, finding the right campaigns. All of these opportunities are significant out there today.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. So when we look at, the increasingly the C-suite around the world is now being measured on a variety of parameters, and one of them that we now constantly hearing about is the number of products per customer. We always knew that the cost of acquisition of new customers is much higher than probably cross-selling into existing customer base. So what are your thoughts on how an AI-driven decision making can help banks optimize their cross-selling and retention strategies?
Right. Well, first and foremost, right, pulling together your data from your respective call center websites, your core banking system, your data lakes and warehouses that you have. But I get real excited around really three aspects that we can start to work with these existing customers here. So from behavior to intent, right? Enhancing prospecting and increasing your product per customer ratio. We all know as we can increase that creates a more sticky relationship. But the ability to tailor product launches for micro segments is really key, right? Not the shotgun approach, but get very sharp with your pencil in terms of how to go to market with various products that are going to be meaningful. And then in your call center, from calls to conversion is really key. Uncovering what influences your customers during the call, gaining that deep insight into factors that drive those outcomes is really key. But my favorite thing is really more in working, as a thought leader, is from what to why, right? That ability to test your mental models with GenAI based insights in a matter of seconds. Right, doing reasoning and thought experimentation with LumYn is game changing, and so, Cindy, those are some of the things and tools that are readily available for banks and credit unions to be able to pull together their data and really improve their insights and intelligence and how to increase that products per customer ratio dramatically.
Thanks, Greg. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the data science platform and how that applies to the trends and insights that we've been talking about?
Absolutely. So the transition from here over to really Newgen. This is all built, as you hear us talk about, NewgenONE, our low-code data science platform. And it really allows you can experiment more and innovate faster. That's bottom line. I like to think about the features of the system in low code enables rapid development, offers customizable AI models to address unique challenges, promoting growth. The low code platform allows for quick iterations, refinement, ensuring rapid adaptability. Then I think you have the conversational AI layer here, enabling business users to interact with the customer data, such as transactions or behaviors or interactions, all in natural language. This facilitates a seamless insight generation and development of growth strategies. You can then maximize your customer lifetime value. How do you do that? By strengthening customer relationships and behavioral segments based on spending habits and lifestyles. And Siddhant will show you how those can readily be available to you. Furthermore, you can accelerate your time to market utilizing a comprehensive library of pre-built AI models, delivering faster insight, quicker deployment, of thrust, ultimately enhancing your cross sales. And probably more importantly, reliable and secure AI, ensuring data transparency, visibility, and really the LumYn offers a trusted AI solution for financial institutions. So here you have really areas of trusted decisions, trusted models, trusted data layer, and trusted deployment. The key message here is for Newgen, we use low code as a key design philosophy for absolute transparency, trust, and agility. And so we're going to address the trusted decisions and the audit, the ability to audit and make it transparent, the trusted models where we don't have hallucination. There's no black box that we don't pull in public data. We have trusted layers of information here across where you bring together, again, no public data. This is you're using your internal organizational data from trusted sources. And we have multiple deployment models, on-premise or privately managed models. All of this allowing for role-based access and control in a secure manner. So Sandeep, that's just a little bit more around the power of this. And I think, as we'll hear in a moment, probably from Siddhant on actually demonstrating it.
Thanks, Greg. We're looking forward to seeing that in action. I think, having heard those insights, it's time to probably switch gears and maybe bring in Siddhant. And Siddhant, the first question I have for you is, we've heard a lot about the power of Gen AI. We've heard these insights today in terms of, hyper-personalization, retention strategies. Can you walk us through some of the standout features, for example, of Newgen's Gen AI-powered platform that directly impact revenue generation part for banks? And also talk through us, what are some of those things the platform can do? And then I have another question for you on the product once you're done with the initial demo.
Sure, Sandeep. Happy to showcase the product. So yeah, let me just jump onto the demo screen. Yeah. So I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to, so this is the demo screen for LumYn. So it's a product screen. So there's tons of parts to it. So let me just break it down and explain it in a very simpler format. So the very thing that you see in front of you is a conversation interface, as mentioned by Greg. So this is somewhere where the thought leaders or the business personas can ask questions around their business, leveraging the data, the underlying data, which is of the existing customers. So we have tons of data around their demographic information, their transaction behavior, or even their campaign behavior. So how does the customer reacts to a certain campaign, provides us a behavior, and then we can ask such questions around these kind of data points. So, and on the left hand side, I have the Prism. So it's basically a dashboarding kind of a tool where you can, build the list of prospects and then you can push it to your CRMs. So what LumYn does is looks at your entire sales funnel, starting from intent to prospect, and then after prospecting, the final conversion. So Prism is somewhere you can create those lists and then push it to your CRM. And then you have the call conversion analytics. So once the prospecting is done, you try to engage that customer through a calling campaign, or even through texting the customer. So you can analyze all that contact center information. It's 100% auditing of all the calls, and then basically looking inside how does a typical conversion happens, what goes right for the agent or what goes wrong for the customer. And then there is LumYn, which provides answers to very specific questions around agent performance, or what are the top reasons of not converting. So let me just start by looking at the question in front that we have here. It's a very simple question to start by: how many customers are top prospects for premium credit card? So it says like there are 8,000 customers who are top prospects. Now I want to know how does a typical prospect looks like. So I can just simply ask further questions such as: what are the key characteristics of these customers? So trying to understand how does a typical prospect looks like in my existing customer base. On the left hand side, you have your recent conversations. So this is something you can always jump back to some meaningful conversation that you had right away, and you can continue asking there. And you can also share these conversations with your peers to basically have a meaningful insight. And on the right hand side, meanwhile it answers, let me just showcase you the capabilities of the platform here. On the right hand side, you have a knowledge element behavioral cloud. So it's something, some of the keywords across which you can frame your questions, some of the key data points that you are basically leveraging. So you have predictive analytics, you have churn risk, you have predicted customer lifetime value. How much value is this customer going to bring to me in the next 6 months? So all such kind of questions you can ask in here. And you also have something called co-pilots. So these are some of the pre-curated conversations that we have ready for you. So you can just click on these and basically run it on a daily basis if you want a daily snapshot. So the system kinds of provides you a platform to ask around your strategies, and also gives you a platform where you can have your daily auditing work as well. So let me go to a recent conversation just to save some time. So this is the same kind of question that I asked here, and it says, okay, so these are the key characteristics. So for example, you have your demographic information, you have your financial information, then you have your banking behavior as well. How many customers are mobile banking users, and how are they interacting with the bank through their click-through rates? So and LumYn also provides you a summary of what it has analyzed above, and provides you some business insights. What is the best part about LumYn is basically does not hallucinate. So what is the problem with generative AI is the trust layer. So this solution is completely built on a specific bank's data. And then there are trusted models just trained on that data. And then there is a conversation layer to basically consume those results in a very intuitive fashion. And it gives you more than a dashboard where you can deep dive and ask further questions, such as: I want to launch a credit card with dining benefits, is it a good idea? Now that's an abstract question that every business persona or head of credit card wants to ask every day and night. And it provides you a very detailed analysis of dining expense. So yeah, so how does the dining expense looks like? So what were the top spending categories? Was it entertainment? Was it dining? Was it grocery? So it provides you data points across that. And it also provides you some recommendations of what kind of offers that you can run to these customers, or you can have some marketing campaigns. Now, you can also further ask questions such as: can you create some behavioral segments with defined audience size for personalized marketing campaigns? And it gives you a very detailed set of segments where you have exact numbers and criteria that it has built for you. Or you can also run your own campaigns. So let me come back to the prism part where I show you the underlying layer of how it all is happening. So yeah, let me just yeah. So this is the typical product intent kind of a screen where you have where you have a product selected, such as standard credit card. Then you want to target to the customers who are of high value to the bank. So you can select high, and then also have a very high buying intent. Now you get a very qualified set of leads. You can push these leads to your CRM, and you also get a metric such as expected gains. So if these customers eventually convert, what is the kind of gains that you can expect from these customers? Now coming to the underlying layer, there is data and modeling. Now, where is this high intent coming from, or where is this high CLV segment coming from? When I click here on modeling, it takes me to the low code data science studio, which is one of the product offerings of NewgenONE. So this is where we have tons of pre-built models with use cases of cross-selling, predicting churn, or predicting customer lifetime value. And when I click on this, so this is a model development pipeline. So it's a classification problem that we have solved for cross-selling a premium credit card. When I click on this data source, there is you can always pull in data from various different sources, and it's a low-code platform, so it's very visual, and any kind of a business persona can also jump onto it and understand what goes behind the system, and can also bring in their business knowledge while training these models on the bank's data. On the left hand side, you have different data sources that you can connect to. So it's just plug and play kind of a deal and this platform has all kinds of starting from ETL operations, then you have data ops, then you have model ops, where you can basically have a complete set of algorithms that you can basically leverage. So yeah, so this is a brief about the Data Science Studio. Now let me come on to the call conversion analytics part and show you some of the pre-curated conversations that I have here. So this is basically analyzing the calls data that is being done from the contact center. So I can ask such questions such as, were all the required details such as loan amount, a purpose, and property against documents, or effectively discussed to increase the likelihood of creating an opportunity. So, for example, it analyzed currently around 3,600 calls, and it says only in roughly 1,650 calls, there was the discussion was effectively, around these kind of data points. And you can also ask questions such as who is the best performing agent based on opportunity creation date? And can you give me their script adherence percentage across all the parameters? So one of the agents, such as Sapna, she really created 142 opportunities, and her script adherence was around 70%. So there is a scope of improvement around agent performance. You can have personalized training programs for your different agents, and you can also analyze the calls data and see what are the top reasons for people not converting. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here now. So it's briefly what I wanted to show today. So it's yeah, let's
Thanks,
go back
Adant.
to
I think you
Sandeep.
touched on both the points that Ryan had brought up, right? You showed us a use case based approach, and you took a couple of those there. And then you also showed us how the data science studio kind of helps facilitate the whole data, angle that Ryan brought up
Mm,
as you embark on these AI journeys. Now, our friends from Deloitte, they work with customers running centers of excellence on AI and working with platforms like ours. But when you look at the other solutions in the market, what are some of the points that set Newgen's AI solutions apart from the other solutions, and how is your approach different?
Yeah, so what we bring to the table is we bring the entire system, which is the agentic framework of starting from the data layer. Then you have your brain, where we bring in the whole AI and GenAI expertise to consume that data in a very intuitive fashion in an application layer. So there is data, then there is brain, and then app. So while interacting with Deloitte as well, so they bring in the domain expertise around what are the current use cases that we can target, and bring in the angle of what is the best problem to solve for a bank. And we bring in our whole GenAI product suite, where basically you can plug and play and do a lot of things in a very short period of time. So we can always start with the POC, as Ryan also said, like you can always pick a use case and then start building on top of it. So this is the platform which accelerates your journey to start a use case, and then you can always expand since it's a scalable platform. So yeah, that is where we bring in the whole picture from data, brain, and application.
Thanks, Adant. I think having heard the speakers and having seen a solution in action, this is an opportune moment to now open the floor for your questions. Please type them in the chat window, and we'll do our best to answer as many as we can within the time that we have. And as we wrap up today's session, I hope the insights that were shared have sparked some fresh ideas about how GenAI can not only impact banking operations, but it can also reshape how we approach customer relationships, growth, and innovation. The future of banking is all about agility, data driven strategies, and putting the customer at the center of everything we do. And we think it's not just about adopting new tools, it's also adopting a new mindset of continuous learning and evolution. If you all allowed us to highlight one key takeaway from today's session, our submission will be this. Um, GenAI isn't just a buzzword, it's a true game changer for driving revenue and enhancing customer relationships and engagement. And we hope today's session will help you further flesh out that thought. Thank you all for your time and participation. We encourage you to keep the conversation going as the journey towards smarter, more connected banking is one that we're all part of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandeep.